The revamped King's Fall Fusion Rifle has some perk combinations that no other fusion can give, and you're going to want the full breakdown for how these perks synergize and take high impacts to a new level. Midha's Reckoning, okay, I'm just gonna call it Midha. It might be Midha, I'm not actually sure, but Midha's Reckoning is a high-impact arc fusion rifle that drops from the King's Fall raid in Destiny 2. You can get it as a drop from Golgoroth, from Oryx himself, or from any secret chest throughout the raid once you've had the weapon drop once from either of those encounters. I'm going to straight up tell you from the beginning, you want this thing, and I'm gonna go over why for both PvE and PvP. I know every YouTuber says that you want this thing, look at these perks, you need to go for this or that, but for real, if I'm excited about something, I'm gonna be making a video about it because I'm excited about it, and I am pumped about the perks you can get on this thing. The devs have been pretty vocal lately about how they design their raid weapons to be a step above other weapons within their archetypes, and they've really knocked it out of the park with these ones. I'm going to be focusing on the fusion rifle, but all the new King's Fall weapons seem to offer unique perk combinations. As of the time of this recording, the weapon's still not in the API, so I've combined all the roles I've seen on Reddit and Twitter to give you what I believe to be a pretty accurate representation of all that's available. In the third column, we've got Unrelenting, Pugilist, Field Prep, Backup Plan, what are you doing here? Cornered, and Hipfire Grip. In the fourth column, we've got Reservoir Burst, Kickstart, Successful Warmup, Tap the Trigger, Vorpal, and Golden Tricorn. Right away, there are some that stick out, notably, as I mentioned, Backup Plan in the third column, which, if you watch my Wizen Rebuke review, you know is a deadly perk on high impacts in particular. And man, I'm so excited to talk about that, and everything here, honestly, but let's just very quickly go over a few of the base stats we're working with to see how it stacks against other fusions. I'm focusing on range stability, aim assist, and recoil direction, since those will be what really make or break this fusion rifle. And I'm estimating because I don't have the API, but I'm pretty sure these numbers are right. So at base, we're at 52 range, 22 stability, 68 aim assist, 78 recoil direction, and 15 zoom. Compared to other high impacts, range, stability, and zoom all look pretty standard, with 52 range standing slightly above the rest of its class, and 22 stability slightly below. The recoil direction of 78 should feel very familiar to some of you, as it's the exact same as Glacioclasm. But there's one thing that really stands out. Aim assist. 68 aim assist is higher than any other high impact fusion rifle, even higher than the almighty Arantel, which only gets up to 65. If you're a mouse and keyboard player, this may not affect you as much, but if you're on controller, this thing is going to feel like a magnet. With a kick, of course, as all high impacts do, but a magnet nonetheless. Now, I like to take this to an extreme when possible, and since the 78 recoil direction felt pretty solid, I put a targeting mod on for the extra 5 aim assist. And then I added 2 fusion targeting helm mods for another 15 aim assist, which put my total at a ridiculous 88 aim assist, without sacrificing anything on the perks. So no matter which perk combination I use, it kind of felt like this thing couldn't miss. That is, if you charged it in time. Charge time really is the biggest holdup for high impacts. Yeah, you can pre-charge, but at a high level of play, you're gonna need something more, and that's where the perks really come into play. So let's dive in. We're going to focus on PvP first, but we're gonna use some of that stuff as we move into PvE. For PvP perks, we're going for one of two things, either a ton of damage or a ton of speed. For damage, yes, you could go very niche with Golden Tricorn for a laughable 2-bolt kill at most resiliences, but you'd have to proc level 2 of that perk to get it going by getting a weapon kill and then an ability kill. And if that's rare for me as someone who lives in PvP, I know it probably won't be a go-to for many of you. Another still niche but much easier to accomplish damage perk is combining Kickstart with an empowering buff like I covered in my Falcon's exotic review. Check that video out if you want the details, but the quick summary is a 20% weapon buff on top of a 15% empowering buff to do so much damage that you negate damage fall off and can one burst kill at any distance, as long as you land your bolts. It happens a lot more frequently than you'd imagine though. Okay, that's cool and all, but here's where it really gets fun. Speed perks. Backup plan, what are you doing here? I covered backup plan on high impacts in my Wise and Rebuke guide, but the short story is that while backup plan sucks on most fusion archetypes because of the damage reduction, it kinda rocks on high impacts. At base, high impacts can 3 bolt up to 9 resil and need 4 bolts for guardians at 10 resil. Backup plan significantly reduces your charge time while maintaining that 5 bolt kill at any resilience. And it maintains that 4 bolt kill at any resilience even when you stack a charge time masterwork and accelerated coils on it. This places the time to kill at 0.76 faster than a rapid fire frame at base. Hence kind of that whole Wise and Rebuke review. Now that's very unique in and of itself, and I love playing with my Wise and Rebuke. It's a really fun reverse card for anyone rushing at you, but I found myself taking it off all the time because follow-up kills were such a pain. You're straight back to your 1 second charge time once you got your backup plan kill. Midha's Reckoning has the solution. Because backup plan is in the 3rd column, we can now get Successful Warmup in the 4th and stack them together to create an unstoppable force in the Crucible. With backup plan at your base, you've got your 0.8 second time to kill. And then Successful Warmup procs, and you've got 5 seconds of an even faster 0.7 second time to kill. It works so good together. Before this fusion even came out, I was wishing for something like this because I really like the high impact backup plan feel. I loved running around with a lightweight primary and then busting out the super fast high impact out, and now once I got that going, I could keep going. The loop was very satisfying and it was really fun to play. I can't emphasize it enough. So that role really is my highlight for PvP. You can try tap the trigger, golden tricorn, the kickstart stuff, but I'm telling you, this is where the magic is. This is what no other fusion rifle can do. If you're eyeing cornered in the 3rd slot, I'm not sure it's worth it for PvP. It was confirmed it only had a 0.85 scaler on charge time compared to Kickstart's 0.8 or backup plan's 0.7. And just kind of paraphrasing, that just means that it doesn't give as much of a benefit as Kickstart or backup plan does. And the difference that makes on high impacts just feels so minimal compared to Kickstarter backup plan. So just my personal opinion, it's hard to know when it's going to proc, and I hate having a fusion rifle go off when I don't want it to. Everyone's different though, and if it works for you and you can go off with a supercharged, cornered, and successful warm-up or kickstart roll, then go for it. That is pretty crazy to stack those things together. Cornered and successful warm-up together is a 0.62 time to kill. I just know for me, I'm gonna mess that up. I'm gonna get myself killed firing when I don't mean to, and on top of that, the first shot isn't going to be as fast as I'd like it to because cornered isn't as speedy as Kickstarter backup plan. But cornered's not all bad. I actually think it could be one of the top PvE perks that people go for some extra speed. Really, this will depend on your build, but cornered, backup plan, field prep, and Pugilist could all have a place. Pugilist and Golden Tricorn together on an Arc Titan could be some insane synergy. You're getting your powered melee back all the time with Pugilist, and you've got Arc Titan's knockout giving you powered melees even if you don't have it up. And then the powered melees are proccing Golden Tricorn ×2 to give you 50% damage buff on a high impact fusion, and then you can stack all of that on Font of Might with wells you're creating from the powered melee kills, plus other empowering buffs, plus this is an arc weapon, so you're constantly getting amped. I feel like there's just a crazy build waiting to happen there. Probably the highlight of PvE perks though is Reservoir Burst, and it does not disappoint due to the intrinsic perk for King's Fall weapons, Runneth Over. This perk gives you extra ammo in the mag depending on how many allies you have nearby, stacking up to 5 times. These extra rounds in the mag all proc Reservoir Burst. That's the huge thing here and what a lot of people are talking about, and they should be. At a 5-time stack with the Enhanced Origin Trait Armor mod from the Seasonal Artifact, I believe you can get around double the mag size for a crazy amount of Reservoir Burst shots. I feel this pairs well with Field Prep, and I haven't even seen that roll together yet, but I'm wondering if it will increase the amount of Runneth Over shots you get for Reservoir Burst. Either way, more ammo is great. For me personally, I kinda still want a backup plan Reservoir Burst for PvE. Maybe that sounds crazy to do less damage in PvE, but just be able to whip it out in massive ad clear on a whim. That sounds really fun. Cornered Reservoir Burst could also be another one I'd take, but it's hard to see a bad PvE roll here if you have Reservoir Burst at all. For pretty much anything on Battery Barrel or Masterwork, I'm going for more range. If it's a PvE roll, I might go for a bigger magazine size for more ammo, but other than that, I'm sticking to more range because it helps me connect my shots. Even if it's a minimal improvement, I just can really feel the difference on controller. One last important note on Midha's Reckoning. This weapon is craftable. and I think it'll be worth doing so. And it's not for more intense perk effects like it might be on other guns, but rather for the extended timers of those perks. The extra second on Successful Warmup or Backup Plan could really make a difference for you. I know it has for me in the past when I'm looking for my next target and just need a little bit more time. So grind for those red borders and get that orc chest every week. I know that I will. I hope you've enjoyed this Destiny 2 review and perk guide. I'd love it if you considered sticking around for more info like this. I really try to make the info enjoyable to watch, but also really easy to understand. There's so much Arc 3.0 stuff to dive into, and I can't wait to get to everything this season. Until next time, GG.